This was a program trying to rebuild its identity in real time, and that matters because when Vegas sets these numbers, they don't just look forward, they lean heavily on what already happened. And what happened in 2025 is now being used to define expectations for 2026.
Weirdos are gonna come after y'all.
Prime got draws, man. What's wrong with y'all? Prime got draws with great packaging.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I don't know who told you that.
Buff Nation, the message from Vegas is clear, and you're not going to like it. According to FanDuel, Colorado football has been given the lowest projected win total in the entire Big 12 at 4.5 wins. That puts the Buffaloes at the very bottom of the conference.
So listen to everybody. Nobody believes in you. What are you prepared to do about it? Don't let no one come into your house, take your meal, do what you need to do today. I'm not nervous. I'm just telling.
Before the 2026 season even starts. Now, let me ask you a real question. Are these projections actually based on reality, or are they stuck in last year's narrative? Let's talk about why Colorado is being disrespected right now. Because if we're being honest, last season wasn't pretty. 3-9, no way around it. Things went wrong across the board. The offensive line struggled. The defense was inconsistent. Depth was an issue, and there was no real continuity. This wasn't just a team losing games. This was a program trying to rebuild its identity in real time, and that matters because when Vegas sets these numbers, they don't just look forward, they lean heavily on what already happened. And what happened in 2025 is now being used to define expectations for 2026. But here's where things get interesting, because this is not the same team. Colorado didn't run it back, they blew it up and rebuilt it. We're talking over 40 transfers added, changes to the coaching staff, a major focus on the trenches, and a complete evolution in scheme on both sides of the ball. This isn't a small adjustment, this is a full reset. And programs usually don't change this much in one off season. Colorado did. And that creates something Vegas doesn't like: uncertainty. Now let's look at how the Big 12 is being viewed going into 2026. Texas Tech is sitting at 11.5 wins. BYU and Utah are at 8.5. Arizona, Houston, Kansas State at 7.5. Then you've got Arizona State, Baylor, Oklahoma State, and TCU at 6.5. Cincinnati, Iowa State, Kansas, UCF, and West Virginia at 5.5. And then at the very bottom, Colorado, 4.5 wins. Last place, that's not just low. That's a full tier below almost everybody else. Vegas is basically saying Colorado isn't just rebuilding. They're expected to struggle again. Now, this is where the real conversation starts, because there are two ways to look at this team. There's the floor and there's the ceiling. The floor is what Vegas sees: new roster, no chemistry, transfers need time, depth still unproven, tough schedule. That version of Colorado wins 4 or 5 games. But then there's the ceiling, the version Buff Nation sees: more talent across the board, more physical in the trenches, better structure on defense, more balance on the roster. That version of Colorado wins 7, maybe even 8 games. And that gap right there, that's why this team is so hard to project. Now let's talk about why Vegas might be getting this wrong, because Vegas doesn't like uncertainty. And Colorado is uncertain. But there are things the numbers don't fully capture. Momentum from recruiting and the transfer portal. Players are buying into the culture. Confidence, energy, belief, and rapid upgrades at key positions. This isn't a traditional rebuild. This is a modern rebuild, an accelerated rebuild, built for the transfer portal era. And historically, Vegas struggles with teams like that. And then there's the biggest factor of all, Coach Prime. Because Coach Prime doesn't operate like a normal college football coach. He doesn't rebuild slowly. He doesn't recruit traditionally, and he definitely doesn't manage a roster like everyone else. But Colorado is being evaluated like a normal program. using old models for a completely new system, and that's where things get dangerous. Now zoom out for a second, because this isn't just about a win total. This is about perception. Colorado is one of the most talked about programs in college football. They get attention, they get criticism, and they get narratives. So when you see a number like 4.5 wins, it feeds into a bigger story. That Colorado isn't ready, that the rebuild isn't working, that the hype was too much. But here's the truth. Projections don't win games. Teams do. So, yeah, Vegas says 4.5 wins, but Vegas has been wrong before. Colorado isn't being ranked at the bottom because of what they are. They're being ranked at the bottom because of what people think they still are. And in 2026, that difference might be everything.